Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the uh, opportunities of the week. First and foremost, the top opportunities, in my opinion. So for playbook, I had Nvidia, which was just a double bottom on the daily. On the weekly, it just set up a higher low, confirmed after this fake break. For me, confirmed. And since the double bottom, this is the first confirmation that we had. On 60 minute is, I think, one of the ones that looked the most solid. Very clean ABCD, definitely a valid pullback back into a level and touched the 20 MA before taking off. Another favorite aspect of this trade of mine was the 5 minute on the pre-market or whatever in the pre-market. It had like this tightening wedge or pennant, whatever you want to call it, and after the open we broke out of that, and then I took it long. I was chasing a bit on the 1 minute because we were already like 2-3 cc's into it, depending on what you count this large candle, but it was a tiny bit risky, but I really liked it because it was the first 5 minute candle for the 5 minute or breaking out of this pennant. So I entered to a risk because of how nice it was. It was a bit risky. SPY at this time was also surging, so it definitely was a bit risky. I'm not 100% sure about the 2R because of the 1 minute extension, but I think it was a good one. Yeah, it's a bit risky for me. Anyway, second trade was around here at 10:30 after this mini range. I only took it simulator because SPY was only like around here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, and I wasn't really bullish on that, even though Nvidia hasn't been selling off that day as much as SPY. So a bit risky, but I immediately exited once I saw that I could have a real opportunity at an entry, which came after, I'm not really sure how visible it is, but after this mini range, which by the way was set on top of the 5 minute pennant's high. After this mini range got broken and retested, and then it made an ABCD. Unfortunately, I can't really see because of the triangles, but it made an ABCD off of that, and I entered because SPY at that time was also fake breaking its pre-market range and is now reclaiming it and coming back into, I think it was yesterday's high. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so it was reclaiming yesterday's high. By then, a large fake break, nice volume. So I thought, okay, maybe we could get like a little bit of a long wave back up to VUP or PDC, and I could use that to ride this wave on Nvidia as well, which is what I did. Didn't hold for longer because I didn't really have my entry and stop set up next to a clean level, so it definitely could have just pulled back to VWAP and then continued on to complete the gap fill. But yeah, this was the Nvidia playbook of the week. The money trade for my pinpoint strategy was VNAT. It was just a solid layup. Weekly's overextended to the downside into support, and the 50 MA, 200 MAs unfortunately banging it down from the top side. Daily hasn't had a proper pullback in a while, but it's not extended, so not my favorite. But we did set up some sort of a range around here, which we broke out of in after hours and pre-market. Quite nice, set up a range. Unfortunately, lots of ghost candles, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but we just got a super clean range and a very nice wick out, and then a breakout after that. Just a clean entry here, stop around here, and I could have run it for 80% of the ATR, maybe even more, because I was taking the screenshot at 14. By the time the RVL was, by that time the RVL was 106%, probably more during the open or at the open, so could have maybe even shot for $1, which was full ATR. I would not have gotten that. Or wait, yeah, I would have gotten that definitely, because counting from PDC 4.9, I would definitely would have gotten 5.9 or 6. So yeah, just very easy, clean layup. Trading back into this other range after, with the momentum carrying us into it. I was hoping that we could run it. Maybe I could have taken a partial here at the 50 MA, but it was just so strong that I'm not exactly sure it would have been necessary. SPY was just choppy this day, so not much here, but VNet's not really doing what SPY is, so not really concerned about that. For mini pinpoints, Playbook of the week was PLTR. Um, so PLTR I liked because it generally had relative strength to SPY. SPY was hasn't even been able to conquer its 409 highs yet, while Palantir has been able to do that. So that was quite nice. Also liked how it was acting so strong, making higher lows after the fake break of this range, and now breaking out. So super good daily catalyst, technical catalyst in my opinion. Weekly's a bit off, but nothing super nothing's a deal breaker about that. 60-minute, I would have liked a bit bigger pullback, but given this breakout, I think that a little bit of extension could be expected, even for, especially for a scalp. So I was good with that. 15 minutes, super nice. 3-bar play, counting on the 4th bar being green as well. So just awesome. 5-minute also just a super nice ABCD layup and a 3-bar play setup as well. The level I was playing was this Kickstarter support over here, or initiation support, which was also the low of this bar. Not really significant, mostly just initiation support, but it was nice to see some other touches there as well. So we claimed that. Also the $100 level, set up an ABCD, and after we set up this little range, we broke out, retested, made a confirmation candle. I don't really like how a little bit aggressive the pullback looked on the 1 minute, but on other time frames it was totally fine. And with everything else being in my favor, it should have been an easy call not to pull this in sim, but actually in live I'm not even sure why I pulled it in sim, but it could have been like an easy 2-war trade. Not really doing what SPY was doing. Yeah, I like that about it as well. Yeah, just a clean, easy layup. And the actual easy money trade was Amazon on the 25th, which I thought I talked about this, but no, I didn't, because the weekly looked similar to, what was that? I think Pinpoint's playbook was NVIDIA. Yeah, the weekly looked very similar to this. Yep. So also at the bottom of a range-ish, kinda same thing as an NVIDIA. Daily I didn't really like, but the 60-minute was okay-ish with this ABCD pattern, not really extended 60. Had a relatively clean level from yesterday, which we broke out of, set up a very nice ABCD pattern, double hammers onto it, broke out of this range, and the ABCD set up another range, which we broke out of, and then made a mini ABCD. These are one of my favorite easy layups on continuation scalps. Could have just taken an entry here, or if I wanted to be a bit more conservative and safe, I could have gotten an entry somewhere around here where we broke out of this high as well, but that would have ruined my risk reward quite a lot. So yeah, could have held till the next support resistance level, which was basically this initiation support around here. That was worth noting. Just a very clean, easy layup. If I wanted to, I could have taken partials into some 5-minute extensions and move my stop along the 5-minute trend as well. So yeah, that was clean in my opinion. I also have one more final level tradebook on Apple. So SPY this day was breaking down from this range. Quite nice for a short biased Max 7 play on Apple. Not much on the weekly, can't really discern much from this. I'm just gonna bet that it's gonna chop in between here. Daily is a bit more telling with the initiation support around here being held and broken down from. 60-minute also breaking down obviously, and a quite nice 3-bar play-ish setup that we're trying to confirm now. Didn't really like 5-minute how we had this aggressive candle in the last 5 minutes of the pre-market coming up here, but I liked how we had this hanging man-ish confirmation here. I took the entry only in simulator because I didn't really like that. I just didn't really think that this amount of confirmation to the short side is gonna stop this big of a candle. So that's why I only entered in simulator. But later, when I think I wasn't watching Apple, we got a bit nicer confirmation with the 5-minute double top. Could have taken an entry here, stop here, and could have ridden it all the way down to around here, where we kind of like said, okay, we're not gonna push any further down. Nothing's really, no short sellers there still. So yeah, these were the top opportunities of the week. The rest, I don't think I'm gonna spend as much time on. So these are the ones that I actually took. PLTR, I already mentioned my liking for it due to its relative strength. We got a nice level around here. Daily's not the most ready for it, but not bad at all. We broke out of these levels, set a nice ABCD on top. Pullback wasn't the biggest. I'm not even sure I have written up how much it is, but yeah, I think it was just about 25%-ish, which was okay for me. Unfortunately, 5-minute was a bit too extended, but I gave a pass on it because of its relative strength to SPY and the breakout of this area, and I thought that maybe we could just carry over to 97.31, which was 2 days ago high, also 4 days ago high, and the initiation sell-off around here, initiation resistance. So I thought that we could get there at least with the momentum, but yeah, I was chasing here a little bit. I gave it a 2-hour risk, should have been a 1-hour risk given this, but yeah, this is just a modification that I'm trying to make to my system, not to be chasing around breakout areas, even though the breakout probably is going to give it some momentum. Also, the 1-minute VPA wasn't the best here, having had the highest volume, highest HUD volume on the parabolic 1 minute highest bar, and I can't speak. Anyway, 422 INTC. Oh yeah, I'm gonna speak a bit about this too, because this was my 4-hour trade of the week. Weekly sitting at a support level, trying to break down, can't, reclaimed here. 1, 2, 3, 4 CCE double bottom, which I really loved. Hasn't had a proper pullback for a while. Quite a nice level and a bit messy 60-minute, but I think that if we could claim this, then we could just run it, which is exactly what we did. Super nice ABCD, very good for a 60-minute candle prediction, very nice 5-minute range here as well, which got broken out of, set a very mini 1-minute range around here, which got fake broken in the pre-market and then reclaimed, which I absolutely loved. So a super clean trade, very nice wedge. SPY was also set up for a long after the gap up, so that was in support of me as well. After the fake break, I entered 2R, broke out, instantly dumped back, and SPY wasn't very strong in the first minute, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut it. So I cut it for basically a break even, but then it broke out again, so I entered back with 2R risk. Stop is the same, and after that we opened somewhere around here, came back down to here, and then broke out yet again. Popped a bit too fast, but I added another 2Rs. So that was it. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual triangles here. I just have it marked because I took the screenshot the next day. But I took some partials at 1926, which, oh, goddamn, I can actually see. Fuck, someone's calling me. One sec. Yeah, cool. So, not really sure where I was. Oh yeah, the 1926 level where I took my partial was just this little upspring and this level. Anyway, I was a bit too emotional because I was in 4 hours, which I'm not sure I've ever been risking 4 hours on a trade before, and I took my entire position off after that at break even, because SPY seemed to be rejecting this level around here, which I was afraid of because I thought that if we rejected this, then we would dump back into the daily range. So we rejected it with this shooting star, started coming back to VWAP, and I thought that I wouldn't be able to survive this. But given how nice the INTC opportunity was, and given how it probably would have had relative strength, and it did have relative strength to SPY, at least in the open, I could have just left my position on. But anyway, that's a good lesson. Yeah, I think it just will take some time getting used to 4-hour risk. Anyway, I had Amazon next, which was yesterday, yeah, on Friday. Weekly, already talked about this. Daily finally had a confirmation candle, and we're above this little mini pivot high. So that was quite nice. We came back under it, unfortunately, but very nice ABCD with around 4 consecutive candle extension, although not parabolic or extended at all. I really like the slow grinder or slow sinker 5 minute, which set up a range which got fake broken, reclaimed, the middle of which was actually the high of this candle, the initiation resistance. And after we get a pullback, which you for some reason can't see on the 5 minute, very nice DOS feature. After we got this higher low, I took an entry after we took out the previous mini high, and we get a little bit parabolic in the 1 minute and rejected. SPY was a bit hectic here as well, and I wanted to enter another trade with a bit more risk, so I had to take this position off for these reasons, but didn't really work out. The stuff I entered on with 2R risk is CLSK, very nice range, breakout, retest, ABCD, enough pullback. I love that. 60 minutes also not extended. I love these kind of 60-minute patterns where we have like two candles next to each other that are both very bullish, next to right at a breakout area. So that was beautiful on CLSK. Big range, on top of which is a smaller range which got fake broken as we opened and then cleaned back. It had a very jumpy price action, so that was a bit odd, but I thought that once we cleared this 5-minute range, or cleared these two ranges, then it would just shoot up. So I entered a stop at the middle of the range. Unfortunately, I got a lot of slippage because it popped way too fast. So I initially planned on entering somewhere around here, but got a very late fill. Anyways, that's where I get the entry, and I got taken out. Just very large volume spikes. I think some big institutional seller was sitting somewhere around here. Don't really have any L2, so can't tell for sure. Anyway, SPY was a bit erratic today as well, but I'm not exactly sure that it had much influence on CLSK at this point. Nvidia, I already talked about. I didn't talk about how I could have taken it around here though, which would have been really nice for a pinpoint, by the way, to just use this PDC level as a pinpoint entry after this 5-minute confirmation, stop my stop around here and ride it out till the gap fill, which happened. I just didn't screenshot it. Anyway, Rocket Lab, pretty much a very similar setup to CLSK. The difference is that at the edge of this range we already had a couple breakouts, but they were a little bit extended. We did have a nicer pullback before this one though. Shooting star's not my favorite, but I like how we're sitting right at the edge of the range and we're setting up a very tight range within a big one, which is my launchpad setup, and the range gets fake broken. Didn't really like the 2nd-minute volume. It was a bit shallow, but the volume was increasing as we were going up and up. So I entered as soon as we broke the range. Stop was bottom of the range, a bit below 1 or 2 cents, nothing crazy, and I exited my full position right at these levels. Maybe could have ridden it up to this level, which was the first upswing or the biggest upswing out of the range, but I didn't like how parabolic we were. So yeah, this was quite a nice trade in my opinion, and we went full circle on the taken trades. The ones I didn't take, Apply already talked about. Moderna, just a real nice range play. No big pullbacks and a little bit of extension. Final push back into the bottom of the range. No real pullbacks on the daily either. Just could have gotten a nice entry here and ridden it back to somewhere around PDC, which was even less than middle of the range. If I wanted to, I could have intraday swung it for the middle of the range, which we didn't quite reach, but would have been nice. Microsoft, not worth talking about much of that. CLSK also a launchpad setup, bigger range, very tight range in the dead middle of it, which got fake broken and then retested. Could have maybe entered here, gotten a nicer position back up to this pivot. Yeah, not super solid setup, maybe a half hour risk, 1 hour risk, somewhere around there. Queen, very nice reverse head and shoulders-ish pattern, so definitely long biased. Also have this mini 5-minute range, very tight in pre-market. That got fake broken with a hammer and then broken out of, very nice. But this was also the bullish SPY day, so it's a bit harder to really discern which setups would have worked without this bullish of a SPY, as well as they did with this bullish of a SPY. So yeah, I think a lot of these setups on the 23rd were, I think, basically thanks to SPY, but I also could have taken advantage of it on Google. Very nice, higher low. Setup confirmed after we broke down from here. Reverse head and shoulders on the 60 and just setting up nice intraday structure, breakout and retest. So yeah, clean one. Not worth raving about. Also for 23 MSTR, but MSTR, as I said, also had relative strength. Or I'm not sure I've said that, but PLTR and MSTR were the ones that I really liked this week because of their relative strength to SPY. Hasn't broken out yet, but above this a very choppy area, so I'm looking for a bit of window fill back up to this pivot high or the oscillation resistance. At least, unfortunately, we broke out of this very nice pre-market range, which I wanted to play near the open, but we did break out of yesterday's high. Retested it, quite nice. Didn't like how a bit wicky this was here. Usually in these type of stocks, I don't really like to play on a new 1 minute high, but a new high of day. That would have been safer and could have ridden it all the way back to my daily target, but I just didn't like it. I just came out of the, I think, the 4-hour position that I had this day, and I just wasn't ready for another trade. Anyway, PLTR, I think I've talked about this already. QCOM, this is an APB. Very nice daily higher low setup, breaking out of this as well. But the retest of this wasn't really nice. I didn't like how when we were rising we were at such low volume, and then on the pullback we had very much, or God, I can't speak, basically double the volume on the pullback. So yeah, that was very unfortunate, and I avoided the trade because of it. Riot also 23rd just had like a 60-minute ABCD, so would have been predicting one 60-minute candle. Pre-market 5-minute range fake broken, reclaimed, just a very short scalp. Nothing more than a 60-minute, even just a 5-minute candle anticipation. TGT not worth talking about. UNH maybe worth talking about. Very large extension on the daily. It's just don't even know how many CCs this is, but nice extension with a confirmation candle at the bottom. God, unfortunately I can't see, but let's just take a look on TradingView. So UNH on the daily was breaking out of a very large range around here, but the confirmation candle actually lied on top of this little range that supported this entire range. So I was bullish. Had this been lower and we had a window till this range, I would not have even thought about taking UNH after this large of a breakdown, but because this was here and this is the thing that supported this entire range, I was like, okay, maybe we can get at least a little bit of a bounce back up to around here, which is exactly what happened. So yeah, unfortunately 60-minute didn't seem quite ready. 5-minute had 3-bar play-ish setup that got fake broken, so that was nice. Maybe could have taken a setup here, but wasn't really a part of my plan. Not really a textbook setup. VFC, not really worth talking about. VNET, already talked about this. Tesla, I'm not sure if I have talked about this. I don't think I have. Just clean how far 1-hour setup. Daily is not really set up for anything. 5-minute had a nice level which got fake broken and retested with an ABCD on the 5-minute pattern. 1-minute ABCD retest, clean 1-minute candle. Didn't really like this high volume shooting star around here, but the setup was still nice nevertheless. Stop around here, enter around here, targeting the high of this mini 60-minute range around here. It was just a sim trade. As I said, I wasn't in the best mind state around here. What was especially nice about it though was the 15-minute 3-bar play, and I just love 5-minute 3-bar plays and 15-minute 3-bar plays on these scalps. They tend to work super fucking well. Um, Amazon, I think I already talked about this. CVNA, yeah, just a clean setup. Daily coming out of this range, although there was a bit of an upswing. It's nothing super concerning. So after Y highs break and even Y highs after hours and Ys after hours, uh, we broke just a very nice clean ABCD back down. Oh yeah, sorry, I was a bit spaced out. Anyway, clean breakout, retest, relatively okay VPA, nothing telling. SPY was also bullish at the time. Could have just taken an entry here, stop around here, and could have ridden it all the way up to. Unfortunately, you could have seen it on the 6-minute that this candle actually went higher in after hours, and that's what I was targeting. Could have been very nice. And since my entry would have been set up against a very solid level, I could have not just capped it, but waited for a longer target. MSTR, this was a very nice trade that I only took in simulator because it did feel a bit off. So breaking out of this large range, which was nice, ascending triangle-ish on the 60-minute, and we had an awesome ascending triangle breakout pattern on the 5-minute as well. All lower wicks, beautiful. Even got a bit of a fake break of that ascending triangle pattern before taking off, but we did have 3 CCs into it, so that wasn't really nice, and I didn't like that the ascending triangle didn't get super tight. The setup, I think, would definitely have been worth an hour, maybe half, but we were just waiting for a long time around the high of day. Didn't really have this like instant up move, although the volume on the breakout was okay and nice compared to the last 20-30 minutes. Wasn't as much as I would have liked. PLTR, oh yeah, this is one that I regret missing. So usual stuff, relative strength, very nice ABCD-ish pattern, finally broke out, got the confirmation candle, ABCD on the 60 as well, touched 20 before the takeoff. Very nice 5-minute range, and broke out, fake broke that, retested PDC at the same time, and came back in with a wick out, easy entry around here, stop around here, and could have ridden it back up till 105, which was about, I think, 80% of the ATR, or 100%, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it was around 80% of the ATR. So yeah, this was just a very clean trade that I regret missing, and I'm not sure how I missed this during my top ups. Did I already talk about this? No, I did not. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna add this as well. Anyway, Rivian, talked about this. Or have I? Yeah, I have. Target, just a clean level breakout, ABCD, mini range, wick out, and breakout of that as well. They don't like the intraday arval, which was around 20% at the time. And yeah, we got to full circle. So those were the weeks ups. I hope I didn't repeat myself too much.